each one, teach one to reach one, freeze one from under the trees and the stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L. I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube to pass. 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fused my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little sun, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time with Van Winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too, can link you to source. Yes, you rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They wanna extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, your oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun, the reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descended unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. I teach you up. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Sun on store each clan better. Plant and a devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. Castilians to conquistadors, Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders, missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. Why expect more from those sworn to conquest except war? They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Washington, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy and Brooklyn, projects and hoods where we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Hardly cushion. It's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Years I shot this sheriff meeting. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flare, no look. This beef is red, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring hate this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this cannibal. If your brain's deeply manacled, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line out, the chief's back with bulk that's big muscle drip. Up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother and his clique. Put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must, we band together. Blade and the devil just stand the weather. Sun strong, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors.
I'm reading that.
Based on real life.
Here's them crazy, y'all. I'm almost out of my bear grease.
What it feels like. Nothing like the old school. It goes way back.
Is it good, Papa?
I was knee deep out in them streets, gang.
She's loving this stuff, y'all. Let's give him a little bit of catnip for his stomach. Stomach was a little upset.
So check it out. I arrived.
Oh, he's hot.
In 1970, August 14th.
Is it good, Papa?
Precise,
Hi, Papa.
Firstborn of five, alive as the Christ. Had sunny days, just like I had.
You know you want to come over and sit
which
down.
accounts for my old lows and my newly heights. Childhood, not of the norm. Excellence, how I perform. Deep down, I was mad. That's why now I bring the storm. Memorize Psalms and other passages of scriptures after learning the Quran to fit off the jin's whispers. It was like my mother and father tried to hide us from the Pontius Pilates, keep Herods and other outsiders. No celebrating holidays, kept away from ungodly.
This one gets me hot. I don't like it. This one.
I'm saying you wouldn't believe such discipline, wishing to make friends with the neighborhood children. But it was like wish again from early on was taught I was different, not better, just gifted. There's a big difference. Had telescopes, microscopes, chemistry sets, books, maps, paints, carpentry tools, wrote poems, not yet known as raps. Learned alphabets and mathematics from my mama. Learned meditation and martial arts from my father. Watch my uncles create music, show I beat drums, play keyboards with my dad, the guitar he strummed, didn't consume pork nor beef. I would eat plums, not knowing this was part of who I would become. True story. This is
based on
real life. It's before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations, what it feels like. True story. This is based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations. Now around it feels like 1982 was no longer separated from the outside world of the porch. I made first notice to standing in my b-boy stance. Leapt at the chance and began to break dance on wooden floors. I got sore from the workout. It was me, Chili T, my man Shabazz, Muhammad, and
Baby Girl Saw to come in. And Snoop, if you're in here, I gotta hit the thing before chat. And Ronald, I don't know if you read a lot, but look, man. I'm doing my best not to mess it up too much reading it, but you know me, man. I
tried to get fresh up at Basma and on commercial. Attempted to test a bus moves on another young. Loved it on cardboard. Roughed it off on concrete with combinations I had stored. Poured my heart into her around the time I met Dula, Yusef, Rashi, Stony Island Park, CVS, School, the battleground, found passion. Another element turned my heart into graffiti, evidence of being present.
And if you want to know something about the public mind in the making, but that's other books just as good or not better, but this, for as small as it is, get it. Y'all already know about Jamel Samsey's book, but this, when we're talking enlightenment,
is the true story, based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, that's what it feels like. True story, based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations is what it feels like.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and get into reading. What's going on? Let me hit the screen, because I don't know. It says 3 people. Yo, they really working hard. Hey, baby girl. Let me start from the top. Now, my baby girl. Snoop, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Delusions, what's up, Ganji Ganj? Yo, everybody, you can shout out. I know some people like, I do it sometimes, but I usually come in and say salutation to everyone, just to let my presence be there, but also because I mean it when I say salutations. There's other words that are actually not cryptic and better, but it's just a greeting to everybody. And not everybody understands, when you sit there going, Halito Chima Chukma, you know what I'm saying? Some people, when you say wada, what they say wado, not knowing that the V is silent, but it's wada or wadiv or wanishi or anishi, and they don't know whether it's Sidanelli, which is family, in the so-called Algonquin or the Muskegon language or the Cherokee language, or what do you want to call it? So is it Algonquin? Is it Muskegon? What is it? See, people really don't know, and there's other ways to say it. And people say, well, why do you say Dagonatini? Well, Dagonatini is another part of the Choctaw or the Chickasaw language. Most people sit there and deny. I mean, I always ask Chickasaw Salompa, do you speak Chickasaw? And people say, and they say the last one died a couple of years ago, or damn near. And I say, no, they didn't, because that's not even the real Chickasaw language. We all spoke one language here for many different nations, and yet we spoke many different dialects. And I'm so tired of all these these individuals who speak these foreign languages, professing them to be indigenous, even though this is the old world and everybody sprouted from this direction on. The ignorance and the highest level of ignorance is sublime. You know what I mean? I got this in the mail. I didn't order it. So you can sit here and say, oh, I mailed it to you. All right, I appreciate it. But I also know what it is. But I'm different. So I didn't order this. I can show you the package. I ordered a stone that was amethite. This is not it. And you see that sign there? So somebody's attempting to give energy or have energy displacement. This can be like a trinket, something that's against you. It's not even made with natural hemp rope, rawhide, cotton, wool, or real silk. It's some synthetic stuff that is carcinogenic and cancerous, nylon, rayon, or whatever. It's just, I appreciate it, but namaste, it doesn't mean what you think. I remember I did a video on this. I mean, we give things energy and things take energy, right? But there's displacement. Remember I talked about energy displacement. When you're not sure, unsure, unaware, or maybe think you're aware without knowing based on a belief, which is not structured in knowledge. Appreciate it, but if I wanted namaste, I'd be wearing a star. I would be wearing the pentagram of Remphan, and I'd be wearing all this garbage. I'm straightforward. Garbage. It's just who I am. Get over emotions and feelings. Never send me no garbage like that again. I may take it personal. No idols. Mantras and sutras, I don't really advocate or push for them. But there are things based on acupressure, mislabel or misname, that do have a viable thing, because we're dealing in a time of serious perversions. Wouldn't it be more simpler to walk lightly and to get to know oneself and look at the things that have a very strong possibility of not afflicting, but elevating, right? We don't need outside things. Now, the stone that I ordered, that is not even from the same place. So I don't know what that gambit was. There something on it? I don't care. That doesn't phase or bother me. The reality is, I'm aware of certain stones. I could probably go out there and I have to dig inside of one of these cliffs or mountains over here and find the stone I need. Okay? That cancels out many things that I need for my pyramids that I've built with the real 99.9% copper and a few other things I'm not in league to say. I invent. And until I get those stones, they're black and crystalline. Okay? Hey, baby. Leave it on a tree. Salt water and let it sit in the moonlight to positivity. Get on a tree. It will vibe with the tree. Well, trees, hey, baby girl, you know, trees make music. Oh, yeah, they give off a frequency. That's why it's beneficial to hug a tree, to lean against a tree, to meditate under a tree. They have their own frequencies and music that is very audible. And once you get in that position of open and awake meditation, you can actually feel it, and it does heal. Does it heal everything? I believe that everything in the world plays a part, like walking barefoot through the dandelion or the briar bush. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate things like that. Oh, I'm not going to throw it away. It's no need. But it's just, what was that? Who was that woman that says you must be the peace? It's not an outside source. It's a frame of thought. It's a condition that is not a condition. is to recondition oneself to a place. It's not about fake prosperity and hunger or thirst. It's about finding calmness in that oneness of self. Oh yeah. Oh no. It's unnecessary. First of all, it's formed. It's from the natural context of things that should be right where they were at, in the dirt, and then the two-part acrylic or whatever plastic, whatever it is, it's two parts of two chemicals, not resin, from a tree that would look like something out of, Indiana Jones or the Lost World, the dinosaurs running around, that fictional, the dragons, really, right? It would be amber. That would be a natural source. Then it would be better to get aloe or a certain, like when you got prickly pears or cactus, there's certain plants that you can get the root and you let it dry a little bit and you break it up and you twine, you know what I'm saying? A wool and cotton. Again, there's a lot of clothes are making people sick. You know that, right? You know why, right? Because it's not wool, cotton, it's not hemp, it's not real silk. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why. And then the components of the compounds utilized in stripping and forming these petroleum-based. What's that stuff? What is that thing they have in it's something 65 where it lets you know that these things can be carcinogenic, can cause health issues and cause cancer. And people are getting stuff and putting it on, like the things that people bought me from Temu, right? I took those things and I washed them 3 or 4 times, and I used a baking soda, a vinegar, and a hydrogen peroxide solution to wash them. And they came off smelling a little weird. It takes a few times, but it disperses and it neutralizes a lot of those chemicals, not all. But they also block your hemisphere, your aurora, that 9 ether people state or claim. It blocks the energy compatibility you have to the natural environment. Just sharing a little information. If I'm wrong, my apologies. It's not to offend, because we need to move beyond feelings and emotions. I would rather know if somebody's going to send me something like that so I can say no and then express my explanation in a way that's more detailed and violent and valuable. So that way they can have that information as well. I appreciate anybody sending me anything, but with knowledge, not on perception. What is perception to? When then we go over it a couple of days, we said, well, how we perceive things doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad. It's perception can be destructive, right? People watch the news, right? Through channeling and, the vision and, right? And like the war, when it first, look at all the people that went to join the war, fight for Ukraine. Do they know what they're fighting for? Those who went to Russia or this or that, right? Look at those people who left here to go to Palestine to fight to kill the Palestinians, and majority of them people aren't even real. They're converts. What are you doing on land, murdering the people of the land? Isn't that what we say here? And that you have individuals want to argue about the land when it's not theirs because they don't respect how it'll break down sooner or later because you have no respect for it. It's a deviation from the protocol and the prodigal son, from the protocol of existence. The narrative, you can't paint it to some kind of new way and say, well, I'm going to run it till the wheels fall off. That makes absolutely no sense. How you view things. And how most people in the world view things is based on how they've been neutralized. Or we could say nurtured, but I say neutralized. College kids, I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's conditioning, but I think in there, ergo, you have this reality that certain things shouldn't be happening. Yet those are the very same ones who voted for Biden, not knowing the truth. And then now they see it. And sometimes it's do when in Rome, do like the Romans do. I see a lot of individuals in support of stopping the war and have been. Yet I also see agitators, and I see those youth who want to partake in that agitation. And and those most of the time those agitators are like 21 Jump Streeters. You get what I'm saying? And they go in there to rile people to get convictions, to make POWs. You remember they got FEMA camps, they got places they want to put people. You got innocent people being locked up left and right. CRS firearms. My Mexican brother in California, one of them was murdered by the COs in prison, and they were defending themselves against robbers at a smoke shop. I can go on and on. We got a brother in New York who was building rifles legally, gunsmithing, and they went there and made him, with this fake media, went and made him look out to be a criminal, and he was actually a very high, not maintenance, but he was really involved in a lot of beneficial things. And all the bad people are getting to walk around and do bad things. Perception is, yes. And then how do those who don't know the truth, how do they perceive it? It's a lot of things. I mean, it's a whole lot. That's why it's important. And I know it's something hard for people to say, I'm not putting away what I've learned. That. And ergo is the problem. The reality is, if you hold on to what's been given and dolled out, and you make it part, not just a facsimile of your existence, but make it part of it, you got to hold it because you can't deny it because you don't know no better, then your perception is skewed. You know, that's why I say to people, I have a friend who's asking me about the rent over here, right? And I says, well, it's anywhere between 1,000 and 1,100, depending on 2, 3, 4 bedroom, you know, or 1 bedroom, which is cheaper. And then I know the person who my buddy Nathan had passed away a few years ago, but Lee Leonardo, my good brother, who was a police officer, they didn't give him sergeant. They're not paying him enough. Was going to move from the res to here. He's going to join the police department out here with 2 more of my buddies that joined the police department out here. And he's looking for a home to either have built or build, or one that's built. And they trained with me. And she and her boyfriend are like, because he's a welder, and he's teaching her how to weld. And I told him about the stick welders. Like, they kind of look Gordo, but they're small, narrow. And they're like, right. I was like, anytime you want to train, I can guide y'all. Some things I'm not doing no more, but I will guide y'all. And you give me 3 months based upon your diet and everything else, man, you'll be fine. But you got to stick to it. And I looked through her shopping cart. He's out in the truck. He ain't even come in. I'm like, you got signature root beer. Get rid of it. Mountain Dew, get rid of it. I know, I remember the parties, how y'all eat all that crap. But if you're going to ask me, those are toxic, very toxic. Now I looked at the top part, and I'm like, okay, you got your pork chops, you got your steak. I know your diets. Get rid of the white potato. Go get you a sweet potato and some yams. Okay. GMO watermelon. He's got good money. I know him. Drive to Safeway. Get the hour and 45, 2-hour minute trip, 4-hour total return, and go and get you an organic watermelon or the seeded big watermelon at least. Wait. What else? What else? He started asking what else, and there's people walking around me, standing around me, listening. That right there, I would advise you to put back on the shelf. That right there, that's no good. That's going to give you pancreatic cancer. That'll assist you in getting there. This right here has, pick it up. What does it say? Sucrose, BHT, FD yellow, 40. You got 3 things. Don't read no more. You're going to hurt. Canola oil. Oh, this is, have you ever known how they refine canola oil? See, do you know how they make it? This is you ain't really not getting nothing beneficial, but everything that will hurt you. I says, we don't want to get into the FDs and I says, don't read no more. You got 3 forms of sugar in there. Synthetic, processed, and not from the sugar cane. Sucralose? Oh, when I was reading, I was like, and this is for the kids, for the children. She's like, that's why I'm I'm living in town now. Me and him coming to work out. I was like, you bring the kids too. How's Bryce doing? Is he still taking pictures of his art? And he got the other one who's in high school, is following his footwork, and they're doing construction work. Awesome. Now let's take care of their health because I used to teach them martial arts. Let's get into reading. Marcus Williams, what's going on, beloved? But that's my baby girl. Exactly. Yes, you know what, baby girl. All right, so we're gonna get the Smosian exposition. I don't want to be mean and say stuff. What I said this morning, you know, it's most time I'm acting, but I'm not saying I'm acting. I'm acting with a different purpose. Have y'all figured that out yet? No, I'm serious about the donations. Get books because I'm a book fiend. Just don't get it twisted. And I think that's a good thing. Benji and MC, Grand Ascension. What's going on, beloved? Let's get an Exposing Expositions, 1851-1915, the revised 2021 from his 2019. And you know, I love his book. Okay? Actually, I'm saying it well, and I hate that word, but you know what I mean. I'm eternally bonded to things that feel good. So this Court of Honors, and y'all already know this. I believe some of you may have purchased this book. Do a review, shout him out, tell him, hey, this brother is reading it on YouTube. Name is Jim Red Wolf, blah blah blah, and I appreciate it. And hopefully he'll write more and do further research and make some corrections that may be critical to assisting other brothers and sisters who may purchase any of his future books. Okay, so let's get into it. Y'all remember where I was at? Well, you have to go back and watch the video. James Marshall is acclaimed to have found gold in 1848. An announcement took place in Portsmouth Square. It took another year before the gold rush of 1849 officially began, which caused a population jump from 1,000 to 25,000. The gold rush and Mormon arrival in 1846 do not on the surface seem linked, but they may be. Excuse me. We Warrior website, and that's WEEWARRIOR. Excuse me. Okay. Website has found that Joseph Smith, the originator of the Mormon church who was murdered, I think he was 36 years old, right? Came from a family of money diggers who claimed they could locate treasure by looking at a stone in a hat. Now, the Mormons also settled Salt Lake City, Utah in the 1850s. I go through that part of the town all the time. All the time. If I'm going to Best Friends to visit Christmas grave site, Best Friends is a pet cemetery. Magnificent. It's beautiful. I drive through the Mormon part when I want to go over to Salt Lake or anywhere else. Anyway, in the 1850s, where all of a sudden spectacular architecture sprang up overnight. So WW speculates that Smith may have had some sort of knowledge of an ancient map as to where the old cities were, not using hats and stones. Now, the man credited with the California gold discovery, James Marshall, was working for the leader of the Mormon settlers, Samuel Brennan, the one who arrived suddenly in 1846. In fact, it was Brennan on May 12, 1848, who was the one to make the headlines by running through the streets of San Francisco with a bottle full of gold, starting the actual gold rush. Now, Brennan owned the store where all the mining supplies were purchased and made a killing in selling the supplies to the original gold diggers. And by doing it so, became the first millionaire in the state. The real reason for the gold rush, though, might have been to generate a migration of large numbers of the eastern population to the west. Mining might have been the created cover story to do so, and to which it was. It was. There's no way around it. Here we have this photo is claimed to be San Francisco along Portsmouth Square in 1851. This is what they profess, the top picture. And as you know, it's trash. Anyway, and then you have San Francisco 1851 harbor. I want you to look at all the ships out there. And these not even naval or combatant vessels. yet can be used as such. Okay, I hope I'm holding it up so you see that. By 1870, the city has a population of 150,000. How true is that story? To go from 800 people to 150,000 in 30 years. Let us look a few things. Let us look at a few things much closer. And this Portsmouth Square is going to be a central part of the investigation. The above photo to which I showed you up top is what they want you to think San Francisco looked like in 1851, and the very spot where the flag was raised in 1847. And it would make sense given the standard history presented. Below is another photo from 1851 of the harbor. Where did all these buildings come from in 4 years? More conflicting is a very detailed article in SF Museum, San Francisco Museum.org. You can pull it up, sfmuseum.org, that Portsmouth Square was bustling long before 1850. Again, 1851, I'm going to show you up top, and I'm going to show you the harbor down below. They want you to believe that these little buildings is the only thing that was there. Yet, 1851 in the harbor, look at all those buildings and rotundas and bubbles and domes, and look at that. The article claims that Portsmouth Square was a giant customs house, a series of great hotels, a line of palaces, the magnificence of whose interior even more than corresponds to the promise as their outward show. They were all devoted to the fickle goddess, Fortune, but they are good loungers for one who can withstand temptation. One hotel was the Parker House, first built in the spring of 1849. It was 65 feet long and 145 feet in depth. While 2 stories high, where is this hotel structure in the photo of the square? 2 images above. What is the history of these great hotels? Like all cities, everything important gets burned in a fire and had to be rebuilt. The Parker Hotel was rebuilt 4 times. Why? Because history claims that early San Francisco went through 5 massive city fires: January 4th, 1849, December 24th, 1849, May 4th, 1850, and June 14th, 1850, and September 17th, 1850. Each time the hotels and all the buildings were rebuilt. At least that is the story. But then we have the painting, the lithograph below of the square in 1850, and it is very damning to the official history story. And I want you to see this building, one of the buildings we built. The lithograph by John Pendergrass, 1850, of the statehood celebration in Plymouth Square. And all these people just popped up out of nowhere without the knowledge to build anything of the such. Take a look at the drawing. That is supposed to be the same Portman Square in the photograph above 1 year later. Notice anything odd? How about the Parthenon-looking building on the left, or the giant column structure further beyond? Who was building this in or by 1850 when standard history claims the city was shacks and 1,000 people? Why are none of these buildings appearing in the 1851 Portsmouth Square image? If everything was getting destroyed in fires, how could any of the buildings from the lithograph burn down? Because quite clearly they are made of brick and stone and not wood. What is the real story of Portsmouth Square, where the city was captured in war? Gold was announced, statehood celebrated, and where great hotels stood. But then we are given a cowboy-looking 1851 photograph, and the 1850 lithograph looks like downtown Athens. So which is true? What is the real story of the growth of San Francisco? I must stop the flow of the book to present 2 images. They are part of a complete set of 7 photographs that give a complete panoramic view of San Francisco in 1878. 2 of the 7 images of the San Francisco panorama of 1878 by Edward Muybridge, Muybridge. See all of them in close-up details here. I want you to get this. I want you to see this. Screenshot it and zoom out. You see that? Screenshot it and then zoom in and look at it real good. We were amazing builders. They needed us to become dumb all of a sudden. That should point something out to you. That should inform you to more of the treachery going on our ancestral soil. And they did not build it, just as the Moors built all that great stuff over in Spain and Europe, so-called Moors. They had nothing to do with that. War and the occupation after the betrayal, the poisonings, and the murdering. I love doing this. Oh, heaven barrens, the new age of deception. And they should know well about deception. Let's get right in. Oh, my apologies. You see the snake? All right, here we go. Shoo, shoo, she whispers and gestures that it must fly away, but it doesn't move, the owl, if you remember. She checks the window, making sure it is locked into place, and pulls back the curtains. She suddenly hears an unfamiliar squeak and looks down at Cole. One last time, he is lying on his back with his hazel brown eyes wide open, and he is smiling. Thinking she must have accidentally woken him, she leans in and tickles his little stomach. What are you doing awake, huh? Did I wake you because of that darn owl? She asks, and he starts to giggle softly. His eyes still staring up at the ceiling. Her eyes follow his to see what he is staring at, but there is nothing there. She leans in and gives him a soft kiss on his forehead, and as she moves away, she notices a tiny purple flash coming from his face. Out of utter shock, she pulls away from him immediately and stares back at his innocent little face. His eyes are all of a sudden a luminous green, and they don't look natural. She slowly steps away from the crib, watching him suspiciously, and hurries out of his room back to hers. Kevin, she gives his body a rough shake. Kevin, wake up! Her voice is loud and stern, but she can't hide the undertone of fear, and he wakes up confused. Mary? What is wrong? He reaches for his glasses and puts them on as quickly as he can, trying to keep up with Mary as she bolts out of the bedroom. Mary, slow down. What is the matter? She stops at the door to Cole's room, and her eyes are filled with fright. I swear, I saw something that isn't natural. She swallows hard and shakes her head as if what she saw can't be real. She opens the door and gestures for him to go inside. Kevin walks up to his crib, unsure of what he's going to find. Hey there, little guy. Your mama is worried about you or something. He leans in and touches his little cheek. The softness lost under his rough and callus-covered hand is relieved to see a happy little baby staring back at him, smiling. And she whispers obnoxiously from outside the room. And what? I am not sure what it is you want to show me. He scoffs back, visibly irritated by her question. You just woke me up, son. Mary stomps her way in, furious at how little he notices on his own, and just as she is about to scold him for not noticing the obvious, she suddenly drops her hands next to her side in defeat. Her face clearly saying more than words ever could. She leans in and touches his face as if to make sure he is real. What the heck? She looks up at Kevin, confused, and back at Cole. I know this is going to sound crazy, Kevin, but the reason I called you, she is in disbelief and suddenly feels really silly. I swear there was something wrong with him, and his eyes changed color. I saw them change from brown to this bright and deep green, but not dark green. She looks back at her husband and shakes her head. Oh, I can't explain it. I think you are tired, and it was your mind playing tricks on you, hon. Kevin looks over at Cole once more, and his eyes are clearly a hazel brown color. Come on, darling. Let's go back to bed. He gives her a soft kiss on the forehead and leads her out of the room. A few minutes later, her door clicks open and soft little feet walk down the hall, barely making any sound, and they stop at Cole's bedroom door. It is Alice, and she is quietly sneaking back into his bedroom, not wanting to leave his side. She walks up to the crib and peeks in, expecting him to still be awake. She is right. He is wide awake and clutching onto his blanket, his mouth covered in drool, and he is still giggling at the ceiling. His eyes are luminous green, reflecting an image that she doesn't recognize onto the ceiling. She lies down on the floor, clutching her unicorn teddy exactly like before, where her mother found her. And stares up at the ceiling, mimicking her little brother and wondering who that lady is that he can't stop staring at. Ebony wakes up with a jolt and is left disoriented. Her eyes rip open and she sits up on her bed, looking at the painting on the wall in front of her. The green matches those eyes in her dream, and she looks over at her left arm and notices it is pouring down rain. I knew I heard something. The tiny little hairs are standing up on it. She remains seated for a while as she takes it all in, and then flops back down onto her bed, hitting her head softly against her feather pillow. And she lights up with a smile that stretches from ear to ear. He is finally reborn. She takes a deep breath and cannot believe that she can finally feel him. She closes her eyes and searches for him in her mind, but there is nothing there. Where are you? She wonders, and with her hand rubs the tiredness away from her eyes and face. It is the 20th of May, 1985. And she has, days and days before. Anyway, and she has waited for this moment for more than 100 years. She puts on a pair of jeans, combs her hair neatly, and grabs an apple from the wicker basket and hurries out of her apartment. The sun is out. The birds are chirping, and she toddles off to work happier than she has been for more than a decade. Every day for 124 days, she looked for him in different parts of the world. Sometimes she thought she found a clue, and other times she thought she had found him, but it was never him, and she has had some painful days, wondering if she will ever see him again. Did I really kill him? She wondered. Countless times devastated by the possibility. Today was different. She saw him in her dreams, and she recognized him immediately, those gorgeous and intense, luminous green eyes staring back at her, and she knows he isn't far away. Where are you, Malcolm? She stops in the middle of the sidewalk and calls out to him. The wind becomes stronger and blows the fallen leaves lying on the floor around her silhouette, and she knows that Mother Nature saw him too. A natural grin develops on her face. It fills her with a thrill, an exuberance, knowing that the time has come. She looks up at the blue sky and stares at the clouds as they wisp into place and form a perfect triskelion. Triskelion. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Symbolizing the inner and outer worlds, as well as birth, death, and rebirth. Triskelion. Look it up. I am coming for you, Malcolm, she tells the clouds, and this is a message from Mother Nature. And then continues down the busy California street. The wind blowing her hair into soft bundles with every step she takes, and her black heels clinker against the concrete sidewalk, mimicking her perfect heartbeat. I love this stuff. We're getting to part one. Imagination is the beginning of creation. So let me show you. I love it. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn? Whatever. Triskelion. A figure composed of three usually curved or bent branches radiating from a center. And do not confuse it with all the new made up stuff. I hope y'all enjoyed that read. And it's not a cliffhanger. We get into the next part tomorrow. And baby girl Slaughter, hey, what's going on? Grand Ascension, what's going on? Hey, beloved. Herbo, what's happening, beloved? I got my baby girl Snoo in here. That's all that matters. I figured you would have. Hanif Muhammad, what's going on? Pura Vida, what's going on, beloveds? What's happening? It's good to see y'all. TRU, that part right there. They couldn't get the bugs off of them. I know that's right. Benji Nancy, I got you, beloved. So I appreciate everybody coming in. It's wonderful, right? Good read. And so you can look at the Triskelion. And I was like, when I read it, I was like, oh man, I wonder if they know what that is. But yet they want to give you the little spinner to make you calm, made out of synthetic stuff and false metals. Iron around iron. Listen to this. Iron 400 years ago was not like the iron today. The iron today rusts. Do you know why it rusts? Because they didn't purify the iron. Now, the iron that my mama had and my great-grandma, my great-greats, they were passed down heirlooms. I think my aunt might still have them if she didn't get rid of them. They never rusted. And they were seasoned to perfection. Now the iron today, look at where they're coming from. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't made from some of the stuff from the World Trade Center and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Just think about how perverse the world is. So when you're buying clothes, make sure you get stuff without rayon and all the synthetics. Yet, if you can't, make sure you wash it as best you can and read up. How is the best way to deal with some of the chemicals and dyes that are perverse as well that they're using in the clothes? How much do you need to wash it? Do you need to utilize certain things to bleach it out and then re-dye it? Because you can purchase natural dyes still, unless they're messing with those as well. Okay? You know I got to get some tea. All right? Good tea is good tea. Made no doubt from the past, of course. Absolutely. So, again, I hope you all appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead. I got about an hour and 15 minutes before I eat, and I'm a little hungry. And it's raining like cats and dogs. And I truly appreciate y'all. If we get about $60 or $70 in donations when I come on to read One of Years Lynching, Margaret Sanger, that piece of thing, and Will Cooper, because I am coming on to read, we need to keep it going. I know I didn't feel like it yesterday afternoon. I was the body going through a lot of dysfunctions. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll take that with the 120 and I'll order some great books right here, right now. I actually deposited I had $150 there. I went and deposited. It already had a couple hundred in there because I ordered a couple of, I thought there was going to be books, so I did stuff at the post office, but I picked that up and that was there. There was no yellow slip or anything, so maybe they'll be there Monday, Tuesday. I don't know. There's a big festive fair thing going on between Safeway and I'm not gonna say the street name because you wouldn't know what it is, and where they have Slackers and the ice cream parlor, natural ice cream parlor, and the pawn shop, all that over there, and my brother, what's called his barbershop. The brother that Ganja, you met him. All right, the brother at the Gunfighter Canyon, that's his barbershop over there from Louisiana. And he's Guyanese. And so there's a festival going there. It's raining. I was going to go in there because everything is like quadruple the price. You get a bag of nasty popcorn. Anyway, it's about making money. The only people, if I go there, I eat from is the Mexican brothers and sisters who know me firsthand. And they be like, oh, hey, ooh. And they be like, what you want? And they looking around because I like to go up to a counter by myself. You can have price off, bro. No, they look me out, man. That's why I said I'm sad that a lot of people went through certain things in California, Chicago, this, that. There's a lot of animosity and hate which needs to dissipate. And the education of both, it should be a commendable performance between the two. And I know there's many out there that are arrogant and ignorant, but on both sides, you know, we have to elevate and move beyond this. And sadly, it could be too late, but I never say that. You know, I'm just pointing it out. You know what I mean? It's good to have y'all in here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. We're right at 50 minutes. I'm not going to go the whole hour. That's the new thing. And we'll be back about 4:30. Okay? Because I plan on eating 2 o'clock, and then I'm going to eat around 5:30. That's it. And that's what I'm doing. I didn't weigh myself. And I'm going to show y'all how to make my babies. I'm going to show y'all how to make sour soap leaf tea. I'm going to show you how to make it. And I'm going to show you how I make mine. You're supposed to use 3 leaves. I only use 2, and I drink it down right away because it depends on what's going on in your body. It could be nauseating, but it's the benefit of it working. Most people are very unaware of that, and it'll be a fun sight. All right? My sisters, the circle of life, that's that energy. That's that power, y'all. Most men have a hard time dealing with the reality of it. And that 2 is to protect them. To 1, all right? Because it can't work without each other. Now y'all may understand why they have to be divisive, change the narrative after the chemical lobotomies and the push pronouns and all this stuff that is angst and goes against everything that's natural. We got to be like this again. The canoe not paddling downstream, but upstream. All right? See y'all here around 4:30.